Hello fellow fairy friends, this is my second video back on this channel. I just want to thank each and every one of you that commented and welcomed me back. It felt like such a homecoming, surprisingly. I don't know, I was kind of scared to return for a really long time. I didn't think that I can do it because YouTube is so much more labor intensive than posting on TikTok, but I have missed you guys so much. There are so many of you that I recognize in the comments, and I'm just so glad that so many of you have stuck around. Today I wanted to talk about romantasy. I really struggle with it, and I'm wondering if I'm not alone. Romantasy is the most popular subgenre, I think, right now. There are so many book deals, big book deals, very popular books on Book Talk and BookTube, and it's wild to see because I don't vibe with most of them. And it's not for lack of trying. I have tried almost all of the popular ones. I couldn't really put into words why I struggle with romantasy. On paper, it should be my thing. It should be my jam. I love fantasy. It's my preferred genre. I love romance. It's my second preferred genre. And a fantasy book with a romantic subplot is, life-changing. That is it right there. The high that I feel when I read a fantasy book that has a good romance, unmatched. It wasn't until I watched a video from My Name is Marines, and she was talking about why she struggles with it, and she said it's because romantasy does neither element well. It doesn't do fantasy well, and it doesn't do the romance well. And that was just like a light bulb turned on in my brain when she said that. I could not agree more. I'm wondering if this is the result of the tropification of a lot of books, and I'm going to give specific examples here in a moment, but it seems like it's easy to market a book when you have specific tropes or beats tied to it. Like you could say, read my book. It has knife to the throat and only one bed, fated mates, witty banter. And I feel like a lot of authors are writing the book to hit these specific things, but not doing the labor of creating a strong world, creating strong characters, emotional tension. Just like the framework of the story is missing. And so when these things happen and these tropes happen that people love, it feels empty, it feels shallow, it doesn't feel worked for. I guess I want to earn that. I want to earn the romance. I want to earn the spice. Like when you just have romance and spice for the sake of spice, that's not for me. Like it feels very empty to me. Fourth Wing, everybody knows about Fourth Wing. Did not like it. I had a first edition copy with the sprayed edges that I sold on Facebook Marketplace for $150 because I read it and I was like, what the heck was that? Honestly, not mad about that. It's a win-win. I got to sell a book. I was $150 richer, which I then turned around and immediately spent on other books that I like. And the girl that I sold it to now has a book that she loves in her collection. Cool. Win-win. The story itself, I don't get the popularity. This is not hate if you like this. I love that for you if you love it, but I just truly don't understand it. Like Marina says, I think it does neither element well. It doesn't do fantasy well. It doesn't do the romance well. So much about the setup of this book does not make sense to me. So this begins at Basgayeth War College, and there are a multitude of different things that you can go and study for. You could be a scholar, dragon rider, etc. In order for this whole structure to work, you have to believe that the faculty at this war college are letting dragon riders fly or die. That's their motto. Either they pass all these trials to be a full-fledged dragon rider or you're dead. They're letting recruits murder each other. They are letting recruits die during training. And to me, like, my brain processes these kinds of things while I'm reading. Like, I think to myself, that's just poor strategy. There's a war happening. Don't you think the people that can't make it through training should just go and be an infantry body at the front lines? Wouldn't that make more sense? No, that's not how it works in this world. The dragons themselves, why do the dragons even want to help the humans? Part of the lore in this world is that the dragons are these magnificent, intelligent creatures. They have their own society and culture, but it's never truly explained why they want to essentially be reduced to a war machine for these humans. If I was a dragon, I would be like, no, you guys figure it out. I'm gonna go live my best dragon life. Like, there's absolutely no reason, no good reason, in my opinion, for them to be helping the humans. And then on to the writing. I think that the writing is very poor. It doesn't match the setting. The setting is this pre-industrial medieval world. They're writing with scrolls and parchment and quills, but they speak in such modern language. I just cannot get behind it. Like, Violet uses phrases like "for the win." For the win? Excuse me, ma'am? Where are we? What time frame is this? Very odd. Very, very odd. And then the romance also doesn't work for me. So many people were saying, oh, it's a slow burn. It's so good. Slow burn where? Where? Can't see it. This is insta lust at best, insta love at worst. I don't think that it's a slow burn if the main characters are saying I love you in the first book of a planned 5-book series. Their conflict, their breakups were so annoying. It was just, it felt like we were on a merry-go-round. They're arguing about the same things over and over and over again, and I was just like, let me off of this ride right now. So yeah, perfect example of a romantasy where fantasy element is poor, the romance element is poor. Didn't like it. I think I rated it like 2 stars, and I thought I was being generous. Another popular one that has been talked about a lot recently is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I don't know how this got published the way that it currently is. I think it takes way too much inspiration from Red Queen and Hunger Games. Yeah. Heavily inspired, I guess we could say. I don't necessarily want to use the P word, the P word, plagiarized. We'll just say heavily inspired. So you're already off to a bad start because it is doesn't feel like an original story. It doesn't feel like original characters, and this is one of those books where I feel like it was trying to hit tropes while having poor writing and an empty story. This was doing banter for the sake of banter, and it got old really, really quickly. Also, where was the editor? I don't know. Are we not paying editors enough? Are we just not having developmental editing anymore? Who knows? But it was so obvious starting from the first chapter. These friends are talking in the first chapter and they use each other's names in dialogue almost every sentence. People don't talk like that. It's so unnatural. So it would go like this. Hey, how are you doing, Pei? Oh, I'm great, eh? Well, tell me a little bit about your day, Pei. Oh, it was pretty low-key, eh? People do not talk like that. Why are we writing it that way? Another one I tried to like and didn't was Serpent and the Wings of Night. This one, again, has very similar gripes that I have about all the other ones. The world doesn't make sense. The setup doesn't make sense. It follows this human who lives in a world of vampires, and she's trying to compete in these trials to ensure her safety. It doesn't explain before she gets into these trials why really she needs to go through them or how her life will be different if she wins. And then the trials, they put all of these people in a castle and it's basically a free-for-all. Like there's no structure to it, there's no tension, it doesn't feel like there's enough of a conflict for me, so like I wasn't worried for anyone, you know. And then the romance, the love interest, is very generic shadow daddy, which I'm so over. I think the market is just way oversaturated with that archetype. You know, the one, he's emotionally closed off, he's brooding somewhere in the corner, he's rude. It's just, yeah, very old, not for me. Kingdom of Stars and Shadows. Oh, I'm surprised I even finished this one. This is a story where it is mostly spice, but with nothing to back it up. Like there's no world building really, there's no conflict really. It's just the main character and the love interest sneaking off in this castle to bang it out, and it's just not my thing. I don't know. I just like, I want so bad to have a romantasy experience that's good. I want to be a romantasy girly, but I need plot, I need structure, I need a fully fleshed out world and interesting characters. I can't just throw these generic archetype characters into a vague fantasy world and have them banging it out and call it 5 stars, you know. It's no. So if you have any recommendations, let me know in the comments. If I don't like it, I promise it's not personal. I obviously just struggle with it in general, but I am willing to try. I'm still searching high and low for one that speaks to me and my tastes.